What if I told you that a surprising number of vegetables don't actually disappear after a single growing season, while your neighbors are busy replanting their entire garden every spring, spending hundreds of dollars on seed, packets and brand new seedlings? There is a whole secret category of vegetables that behave completely differently. These are not your typical one-season crops. These plants are hardy, long-lasting, and capable of producing food year after year, just like fruit trees. By the time we finish this video, you will know exactly which 20 vegetables can turn your backyard into a long-term, self-replenishing food garden. The funny part, most gardeners don't even realize these plants exist. Hey there, my gardening friends. My name is Chandler, and welcome back to GardenLife Studio, the place where we garden with intention, not exhaustion. If this is your first time joining us, I'm genuinely glad you found this channel, because today's video might completely change the way you think about growing vegetables. And for those of you who keep returning, thank you. You are the heart of this community, a group of growers who believe gardening should be joyful, affordable, and sustainable. Before we dig into these incredible perennial vegetables, do me a quick favor. If you truly want to save money, reduce yearly work, and build a garden that practically maintains itself, make sure to subscribe to GardenLife Studio and turn on notifications. We share new, budget-friendly gardening insights every single weekend. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up next. Alright, let's get into it. Most of us grew up believing that vegetable plants live for one season only. You sow them in spring, care for them through the summer, harvest as much as possible, and then watch them wither away. Next year, you begin the exact same cycle again. It feels like being stuck in a gardening loop, spending money, prepping beds, replanting, and repeating the same work forever. But here's the truth that hardly anyone talks about. There is an entire class of vegetables that behave just like orchard trees. You plant them once, and they keep feeding you year after year. Some last 5 years, some last 10 years, and a few will still be producing long after your home mortgage is paid off. These are perennial vegetables, and they are one of the smartest investments you can make in your garden. I'm not referring to rare, exotic plants that require soil flown in from the Himalayan mountains. I am talking about vegetables you have probably eaten before, vegetables sitting in grocery stores right now, yet no one ever told you that you could grow them like permanent garden residents. So let us get into the full list of 20 perennial vegetables that act like miniature fruit trees. Vegetable 1. Asparagus. Asparagus is the heavyweight champion of perennial vegetables. When you plant asparagus crowns just once, they can continue producing for 20 to 25 years. Yes, you heard that correct. 2.5 decades of food from a single planting. The only catch, asparagus requires patience. During the first year, you harvest nothing. During the second year, you take only a tiny sample. But by the third year, you will begin receiving beautiful green spears every spring. And that harvest continues for decades. Plant asparagus in full sun with well-drained soil. Treat it as a long-term investment, because that's exactly what it is. A vegetable savings account. Vegetable 2. Rhubarb. Next on the list is rhubarb, often mistaken for a fruit, but technically a vegetable. Rhubarb is incredibly hardy. It survives harsh freezes, bursts back to life each spring, and can keep producing for 15 to 20 years with ease. Plant a single rhubarb crown, and you are set for decades of jams, pies, and rich red stalks. Just remember, the leaves are toxic, but the stalks are safe and delicious. Rhubarb loves cold winters, which makes it ideal for northern climates. Vegetable 3. Artichokes. Artichokes look like something straight out of a fantasy garden, but in warmer climate zones 7 and above, they come back year after year. Each plant can produce dozens of edible buds, and they continue doing so for 5 to 7 years. Even gardeners in colder zones can grow them as perennials by giving them a little winter protection. Vegetable 4. Sorrel. Sorrel is a vegetable most people overlook, yet once you grow it, you'll wonder why it's not in every garden. This lemon-flavored leafy green is nearly indestructible. It tolerates poor soil, grows well in partial shade, and returns every year for 6 years or more. You plant it once, and it becomes a long-term supply of fresh greens. Vegetable 5. Egyptian walking onions. Now things get interesting. Egyptian walking onions are perennial onions that, they produce little bulbs at the top of their stems. As those bulbs grow heavier, the stem bends to the ground and plants the next generation itself. These onions essentially migrate across your garden, multiplying endlessly. Harvest the underground bulbs, and the top bulbs will never need store-bought onions again. Vegetable 6. Globe artichokes. A close relative of regular artichokes, globe artichokes are even more reliable. They develop deep root systems, become drought-tolerant, and in Mediterranean climates can produce up to 30 artichokes per plant each season. Trade it will. They can live for a full decade. Quick pause. If you're realizing you have been wasting money replanting annual crops when you could grow these, make sure to like this video and leave a comment below. Tell me which perennial vegetable you are most excited to try. I read every single comment. Alright, let's keep going. 14 more to go. Vegetable 7. Watercress. Watercress thrives in soggy, wet soil. If you have a constantly damp area where nothing else grows, watercress will thrive happily. It has a bold peppery flavor and regrows quickly after each harvest. In mild climates, it is fully perennial, and in colder climates, it often self-seeds so heavily that it behaves like one. Vegetable 8. Sea kale. Sea kale sounds fancy, but it is surprisingly easy to grow. It produces tender spring shoots, similar to asparagus, and has gorgeous blue-green leaves. It is drought-tolerant, pest-resistant, and can live for 8 to 10 years. Vegetable 9. Lovage tastes similar to celery, only stronger and more aromatic. It is a massive perennial that can grow large enough to supply an entire family. It requires almost no maintenance and can survive for decades. You can use its leaves, stems, and seeds in cooking. Vegetable 10. Good King Henry. An old-fashioned perennial vegetable. Good King Henry produces edible leaves, edible shoots, and edible flower buds. It thrives in partial shade and has been grown in Europe for centuries. Vegetable 11. Turkish rocket. Also known as Perennial arugula. Turkish rocket produces peppery leaves nearly all year in warm climates. It returns reliably each spring in colder regions. The flavor is bold and perfect for salads. Vegetable 12. Caucasian spinach. Caucasian spinach grows as a climbing vine and produces spinach-like leaves from spring through fall. It withstands heat and returns every spring from the roots. Grow it on a trellis and enjoy easy harvesting. Vegetable 13. Dobinton's kale. Most kale varieties are biennial, but Dobinton's kale is a true perennial. It does not produce seeds, so its energy goes entirely into producing delicious, nutrient-rich leaves. It can be harvested nearly all year, propagated from cuttings, and grow an entire kale forest. Vegetable 14. 9-star perennial broccoli. Yes, perennial broccoli exists. The 9-star variety produces many small white-tinted heads instead of one big one, and keeps producing for about 5 years. It tastes like a cross between cauliflower and broccoli. Begata 15-inch base. Chives are such common plants that people forget they are perennial. Plant them once, and they will multiply endlessly, providing onion-flavored greens and beautiful edible flowers. Vegetable 16. Garlic chives. Garlic chives have a mild garlic flavor and are just as easy to grow as regular chives. They are heat-tolerant, productive, and will gradually naturalize across your garden. Vegetable 17. Horseradish. Horseradish is unstoppable. Plant it once, and it will remain fly, sometimes spreading aggressively. Harvest the roots for that classic spicy kick. Just plant it in a location where it can stay permanently. Vegetable 18. Jerusalem artichokes, also called sunchokes. These tall sunflower relatives produce edible tubers underground. They multiply rapidly and have a mildly sweet, nutty flavor. Just be aware, they can spread fast. Vegetable 19. Wild leeks, also known as ramps. Ramps are beloved by foragers and chefs. They grow best in moist shade and form permanent colonies over time. Once established, they return every spring. Vegetable 23. Tricholads are incredible perennial brassicas that grow as tall as small trezzi, sometimes up to 12 feet. They produce edible leaves year-round in mild climates and can live for 10 to 20 years. They are propagated through cuttings and represent living history. And there we have 20 perennial vegetables that change gardening forever. Instead of buying seeds every spring, you plant these once and harvest for years, sometimes decades. This is how you build a sustainable, low-cost garden that works for you, instead of demanding constant replanting. Here is my challenge to you. Choose 3 of these perennial vegetables and plant them this season. Just 3. Watch how your garden transforms over the next few years as these plants settle in and begin to produce on their own. If this video opened your eyes to a new way of gardening, share it with a friend who is always talking about how expensive gardening can be. And if you haven't subscribed yet, join our community here at GardenLife Studio, a place for gardeners who want to grow smarter, not harder. Tell me in the comments which perennial vegetable you are most excited to grow. I genuinely want to know. Until next time, keep growing wisely, keep growing affordably, and remember, the best garden is the one that grows with you. I'll see you in the next video.